Hello everyone, this is the Will in Redbox and welcome to my world. Today we are back in the Foxgrove Reborn map after we have done this nice little ranch barn here with the paddock in the back. And today our plan is actually to build the ranch house. Now this is going to be like a starter house sort of design and we're going to see how that goes. Before we can do the build, this terrain isn't going to work that well, so I'm hopefully going to change this up a bit, make it a little nicer and see how that goes. Okay, with that now done, I'm going to be building a starter house that's in the style of a ranch house, as the title of this video implied. So hopefully what I'm going to do is I'm going to build it, I think, facing this way, because I feel like having some sort of view that direction would look nice, and then if you come out onto the village over here as like a walkway sort of thing would be good. We'll see how that goes, but I think I'm going to place it somewhere around this area here. I'm not too familiar with what size I'm going to do it with yet, but I do have a design in my head and that should work. So let's see how that goes. So I've cleared away some of the grass just so we can see the space that we've got here, and I kind of like how big this is, and I'm going to have it over this direction a bit more towards the barn, but I do need to taper this a bit. It looks a bit odd having it that close to the front door. So I'm going to quickly do that and then we'll start building. So starting off, I'm going to build with cobblestone, see how I get on with laying it out, and then go from there. And the main problem I'm going to have is that the doors are too wide, but I want it to be centered on a one block. So I'm going to have to figure out a way of doing the door. Now I'm thinking probably doing the door as two double doors will probably be the best way of going about this. Something like that should work. Now I do want to have the pathways be 3 wide for the first room, so if I do 3 blocks either side of the double doors, that should be nice. And then do 1, 2, 3 here. That'll be where the next room enters, and so would that one. So thinking of going this way, I'm thinking an enchantment room would be nice on this side of the room. So we're going to need at least a 5 wide so that the enchantment room sits in the middle, and then I would want it pretty much up against the windows. So if we do it 7 wide room, that would work really nice, including these blocks. So if we do another 6 this way, we should be fine. And then to go far back, I'm not too sure yet. So we'll come back to that bit in a minute, but I'll leave that like that so I know that that's a corner piece. And just to double check, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, perfect. So let's go work out the other side first. Now this one is going to be a basic kitchen area sort of thing. So like a storage slash crafting area. So what I'm thinking is if I do it as a nice small size and do a little bit more to it, probably about 7 by 9, that might be nice. Which unfortunately brings us a little too close to this edge, so I'm gonna have to fill in the dirt a bit here. Okay, that's a little bit nicer, but it doesn't leave much room on the inside. So let's try and work out how wide I want this to go back, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I've worked out the sizing I want for the ground floor, but it kinda has a problem that we are close to this cliff edge. So I'm gonna have to redo this cliff again and hopefully clear that up a bit. I think that looks good, so that should do. But yeah, this hopefully it will stick out as the main ground. This can actually be cleared through like that. That should then be quite nice. That gives us the ground floor, but I do kind of want to raise it up by 1 block. So let's do that next. So I'm thinking something like this might look nice as the front being on top of it and then having everything raised up to match. Now it is going to look a little weird on the overall design, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to raid up the template and then I'm going to see how that looks on the ground level, see if I can do anything to make it look nicer. I have gone for like a sort of styling like this, but I don't know what I'm going to do with this right side, but hopefully once I've raised it up 1 we can take a look at it then. Okay, so now this just looks like a cobblestone box. Now I'd want to kind of give it more wood in there. The reason for that is because if you actually look at this build, the way that the wood crosses all the way through, it kind of gives it that feeling that it's actually rooted to the ground and that everything has been built with a purpose. So I kind of want to mimic that with the new build. So I'm going to have to put wooden beams in and work out where they're going to go. Also, I'm going to have to work out how I'm going to do this edge because I don't like how that looks. So I'm not too sure where the staircase is going to go, but from what I can see here, it kind of brings a pattern when you have all of these logs in. So I'm thinking if we're going to have pillars there, then if we put another set in here and then do the same on the other side, so here, we kind of get that balanced approach. Okay, so that kind of now gives it a sense of purpose. And we can see how we're going to build things as we go. I'm not too sure how we're going to do this, but once we get something in place, I can kind of work around it. In regards to the edges, all I've got so far is changing these out to stairs, so may have to come revisit the edges. It does look odd. who knows? I'll try and work something out. So I've been working with the space in here, and I think what I kind of want is a 3 and then a turn. So if we do this sort of thing, it might work out quite nice, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not too sure if it'll work, but we'll see if it works. But first, let's just raise everything up so that we've got it to the same level. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to build in the staircase, because I feel like that's probably the best place to start, and then go from there. Okay, so that works out quite nice, because then we can have like a staircase wrap that goes here. So 1, 2, 3, and then, oh, we could put another wooden beam right here. Gives it a little bit more structure. Yeah, that looks good. So now we've gone up by 4. When we come back around, so if I do wood over here, why is that 4 wide? Is it a 4 wide staircase? Ah, it is. Okay, never mind. That's me being an idiot a little bit there. So if we just put that like that and then build this in, there we go. That gives us the 5 high for the actual stairs. Now I'm gonna have to build these pillars up again to be 5 tall. When I say 5 tall, I mean 5 tall on the inside. So as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But on the outside, you've also got the 1 extra block to make it taller. So these are actually 6 tall, but 5 for the inside build, if that makes any sense. Now this side, what I'm planning to do is I kind of want there to be a downstairs area. So if I kind of hold like that for a little bit, and then go down, we can actually work out the staircase. Okay, so we just copied the same pattern as we did with the wood up here. So as you can see, there's a 4 wide going up 3, 3 wide here, going up 1, 3 wide again, following the 4 wide pattern of the room, and then a 4 wide staircase. If you want to slow that down and actually see that again, by all means. I don't think I explained that quite well. Speaking of which, if there is anything that I haven't quite explained properly, or you feel like I could have explained differently, please do let me know and give me an example on how you would want that portrayed to you. That way I can actually improve these videos over time. For now though, I kind of want to make the ground the same level as what we've got above. So let's clear out that space. So with use of the light marker mod, I'm going to have to now build that staircase again because I've just completely wiped out what I actually wanted. So let's get that done and we can see how we're going to be building this area down here. First off though, we are going to be building these pillars all the way down because I feel like that makes sense. And of course, we're going to have to do the same that sit in the wall, but we're going to have to work out the design first. Okay, so for now I've just put lanterns on the floor just to make it a little nicer to see, but I've just done a skeleton of the staircase just pretty much so I've got that in place, and I can try and work out what I'm going to do with this space. I'm thinking it would be nice to have the nether portal under here, so it's out of the way and it's not near anything else and it's kind of hidden away, but at the same time I kind of want to put something more important in here, but I don't know what that more important will be. We'll just have to work that out as I'm going. But first, let's just decorate this room a bit. Also, as just a little extra thing, I'm going to be filling the void space with cobblestone just because it's a little bit easier and it doesn't really need to be designed. It's not going to be used for anything, so I don't see how it's going to be a problem. So I've kind of gone for this little design where I've got like the cobblestone stairs upside down on top of each other so that they kind of reflect like a little gap. And I think that kind of looks nice across the top, and then having the corners with wood kind of gives it that extra detail. You're not going to see this because I think the portal I'll put here because that's out of the way. And then I'm thinking some sort of brewery station. Maybe having a brewery station over here and then like this is a Minecraft entrance. Well, not Minecraft entrance, Mineshaft entrance. But hopefully that will look a little nicer, but I'm not too sure how I'm going to do the wall and floors. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build it, see how it looks, and then go from there. So far this is what I'm working with and it looks great, but it kind of looks a little flat and the roof doesn't look that interesting. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change some of the design here and make it a little nicer. Probably bring a beam across here since that would make sense. Yeah, the beam is now going to not be across on the top because that's now going to make it look a little different up here. But I think it will be worthwhile in the end. Okay, so I'm going to leave the storage empty in here just for the simple fact being then if you ever rebuild this you can lay it out the way that you want, and I'm going to leave the portal off like that because I do not wish to hear the portal going off every 10 minutes whilst I'm building. But yeah, I feel like this looks pretty good and the roof feels quite tall with this. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep to bricks that you can easily gain through just playing Minecraft, so there's quite a lot of wood, there's quite a lot of stone, and there's not too many blocks that you would actually have to go out and do some mad things for, kind of like getting copper or anything like that. Reason for this, I want it to be a very basic starter house. I don't want it to be like a massive one where you've built everything from an inventory system in there and redstone work and all that sort of thing. I kind of want it to sit simple like this over here. something you can build quite quickly, quite easily, just from playing the game casually, not having to go out and spend hours mining or spend hours adventuring around your world. Yeah, does that give it a basic feeling? Pretty much, but it kind of does work, and it works really nice, especially if you're going to be doing it as a starter house, which this is based on. And of course, I've not dug it all the way down, but you can use this as like a mine shaft, and then you can have that inside the house where it's a little bit safer, so you don't ever have to leave. So now I think it's best we tackle one of the side rooms, or we start tackling one of these rooms. So I think this will be a great point for the enchantment room, given the fact that we can lower it in the floor and still have windows. But the reason why we can do that is because we didn't actually build anything on this right side intentionally, so we had the space for that. So hopefully what I'm going to do next is try and design what the walls are going to look like, and then put in some extra pieces. Hopefully we can see what that looks like. Okay, so there we go. We got some walls in, so we can see how high everything's going to be. Now, do I want to drop it, or do I want to make it taller? Mind you, I kind of want the stairs to be replicating of each other, so we can't really drop the sizing of it. So the windows are going to be a lot larger, so we're going to have to try and work out some sort of patterning there, and I kind of want to continue over the barn style patterning on the walls for the outer side. So what I think I might do, I knock that out. That kind of gives a window there. Then you're left with a window, yeah, a window there and a window there. That kind of works in the balancing of the shape a bit. Yeah, and then we're going to have to work out something for these walls. Okay, so that looks quite nice with the windows in now, but it does make things look a little blank on the inside because we've got all the detail on the outside. So how do we make that look nicer? And I still need to work out this trim because I do not like how that turned out. Now, easy way is to put paintings and some sort of shrubbery, make it look like plants. What can we do? So let's have a look at the leaves. Is there any decent leaves we could use? We probably could use the oak wood ones. Makes it nice and simple then. Just have them in the corner for like that, for like a little plant. That kind of sorts that corner out. And then we can put paintings on the other wall. And maybe on the... we need something in this corner. Okay, so I've decided to put these little bookcases in. That way you can have like your enchantment books in here from what you've used here. So that kind of works quite nice. With a little painting on the sides to fill up the space, and then little plant pots on the either side. Now I've kind of decided to make this window not as straight cut, so hopefully that works out in the future. But for now, I need to work out the next room, which is going to be over this side, and I think this is going to be the crafting room. Okay, so I've kind of got the walls in place now for this side with the windows, and then I've also lowered this because I feel like I could probably make a nice slanted roof. It might be too low though, so we'll have to come back to that in just a moment, but we're first going to try and work out this, make sure the ground kind of looks good, and then we'll move on. But for here, I'm thinking like a crafting slash storage space sort of thing. Not a massive storage space because I would like there to be a bigger one up on the second floor. So I'm thinking maybe a couple chests here for like fuel and things like that, but first let's just get that built in. Okay, so it looks a little cramped with these lanterns, but I don't think there's any other way I'm going to be able to get a nice looking finish. So this actually works quite well. So yeah, nice little cozy space. It's got everything you potentially could need, and then a few bits more. This is kind of useless, so I might change this out. Okay, yeah, the cauldron works better. So that is all done for this side now, and then you've got the crafting tables in the corner, except for that one. Why is there no crafting table there? I must have just made a mistake there. But yeah, let's call that room done. I'm gonna have to work out the outside now though, because this is looking a bit weird. Let's see if I can make it better. Okay, so I've just gone around and changed the windows a little bit because I feel like I like this kind of styling with the bottom a little better. Now, there are a little bit bits and pieces where the glass doesn't quite sit on top of the cobblestone right, but it works. I really like how it turned out. I'm not too happy with this. I'm thinking maybe changing it, but because it's 4 wide, it's a little bit weird. So I think I'm going to have to leave it. But for now, I feel like we need to design the front, which shouldn't take too long, hopefully. Okay, so I think that might look okay, but I'm going to have to choose a door. I'm not too sure which one would look best. We use the dark oak or the spruce. I think I'm going to have to go with the spruce. Yeah, I think the spruce is going to be the easiest. Dark wood's going to be hard to find. But I will have to come back to this because I'm going to have to work out how I'm going to do the front of this building. I'm not too sure just yet, but I'm going to have to make it look good since it's going to be the center point of the actual build. But now that we've got all the sides done pretty much, and we've pretty much got the back done, I do have to kind of work out how I'm going to do the front. So let's kind of build the front porch area sort of place. Okay, so this looks pretty good now. So we've got all the flooring in place for the top. So if we come in here, you'll see it looks a little nicer, and we got some lighting in places. Changed a bit up here because I've got the lighting in here, and then I changed the floor. And then over here, I didn't really do much. I just kept it all the same, just filled in the roof so it's got a little bit of texturing to it. So now we just need to work out how we're going to do the next floor. See how that looks. I do think this is going to be a little annoying because there's not going to be a block I could use to do a divider on top of the wood so that the floor and the wall don't match. I'm going to have to work that out, but I'm also going to have to work out the size because it's not going to work if it's going to have a weird sizing. Maybe if I do some sort of 4-block high and then like shrink the top floor a bit, because then that gives us the roof. I kind of want to do the same roof as this over here, so I'm thinking maybe that will work. Yeah, let's give it a go, see how it goes. So we've got the wooden frames in place and it's starting to shape up, but I don't know if I want it to be a little higher. Now this floor doesn't really need to be tall, so plus I think I've figured out a workaround. So if I simply put staircases in such like this, yes, there's no design on the outside, but there will be a design on the inside, which is more important for the second floor, given that you're not really going to see much from the ground, because you're going to have all of the different walls and all the different roof bits covering it. Now this will probably only work for the front piece, but we'll have to see how it goes, because what I can do is I can always design something to kind of make it look nicer on the outside on these 2 bits here, rather than actually trying to work out the rest. So let's see if I can try and design something for the sides. And with that, I think I've done the front. It looks quite nice. Yeah, it's a lot of wood, but you gotta remember I'm designing this as if it was a starter house. You're not going to be getting all the copper blocks, and you're not going to be getting all the weird and wonderful deep slate in the first half an hour. This could probably be made if you found a spruce farm pretty quick. Well, not a spruce farm, but spruce trees, because pretty much the majority of this is just spruce wood, or some sort of variant of the spruce wood. Now you will need oak trees, but oak trees and spruce wood trees are abundant in the world. You'll be able to find lots of them quite quickly, and the stone is literally everywhere. So hopefully this kind of works out when everything's done. Now it is getting a bit bigger than the barn, which is a little bit of a concern, but we'll see how we can taper off the roof a bit. I also realise the irony that I'm literally saying that there's oak wood trees and spruce trees all around, and there's not a single one in this area. So I'm gonna have to fix that from like a law perspective. Maybe put a little farm somewhere. I keep saying farm. Put a little forest somewhere. But now I actually need to work on the sides and the back. I'm not even sure how I'm going to do this. Do I just copy what was made from the bottom upwards? That might work. Maybe change the positions a bit. Have the windows on the top of the stairs and then the walls over here. Maybe that might be a simple thing. That'll probably work best. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, yeah, so that does work. But it does make it look a little simple on this side, so I think I might have to thicken things up, make it look a little bit better. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but let's take a look, see what we can do. I may have to also extend this yet again. So actually I didn't have to move the cliff, but this kind of works a little bit better. You probably could make nice little patterns in here a little bit better, but for now I just wanted to be a standard design and just work from there. So we'll see how we can get the sides done, because I feel like having these sides duplicate not the bottom, actually maybe the bottom. Now that I think about it, because there's not really much window space in the back here. So if I just simply build these again on the sides, that might look nice, and then try and bring this wood out a little bit, maybe. Okay, so it does look okay. It just looks a little flat, so we're gonna have to make that a little better. And that looks a lot nicer, so that worked out pretty well. I feel like there is a lot of wood though, you know, after building everything pretty much out of wood. So I'm not too sure how I'm gonna do the roof. I might have a stone roof, might have some sort of simple roof, maybe a mixture of cobblestone. Then again, it wouldn't make sense putting cobblestone on top of wood, so I'm gonna have to stick with the wood, but maybe I can try and change the palette a bit. But first we do actually need to work on the inside. It is a little narrow in here, so we might have to open up the rooms a little. Okay, so we've got the hallway now done, and now all that's left really is the bedroom, as we've now got the chest room all sorted. Now it's probably not the most organized storage unit area, but hey, it will work when you first start the world, so there's that going for it. You could always build like a massive redstone farm later, but for now, let's design a bedroom. That is the last room in the house, and then we gotta work on the roof. I may make it so that you can connect into the roof, but I'm not too sure how best to do that given the shape that I've made. Maybe a ladder back here might work, just out of the way. Okay, it's very basic, but I think it works, so that's the main thing. Now I've got to work out what to do with the roof, because yeah, this has like a floor and everything, but there's no actual roof on the building, and I don't know how I'm going to make it so that you can connect up there. Maybe a ladder somewhere? I'm not sure where I could put the ladder. Mind you, the only logical place would potentially be here, so if I like broke this out and then took out that corner piece, you could get a ladder up there and it would be perfectly normal given that this beam is one over. Yeah, that's probably the best thing I can do. Okay, so now the roof is done, and in the inside I'm just leaving this empty, simply because it can be designed however you want it, really. You can put whatever you want up here, whether it be a redstone farm for crafting or whatever. And the outside looks pretty good. I think that actually turned out quite well, but given the fact there is quite a lot of spruce, there may be changes to that in the future, but for a starter house, I think this would be a great start. Especially if you wanted to wipe out an entire spruce forest just to make the thing, so that way you can have the space not only to build, but also have all the materials you'll necessarily need. But for now, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoy, and if you did like it, then please do like the video and subscribe. It does help out in the channel, and yeah, I'll see you in the next build.